Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Are y'all ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, please find your seats. The show will begin in just 2 minutes.
Begin transmission.
This program is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the show. It's Bill here, Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures. Got another Sunday afternoon, just hangout, toy chat. Let's see who else in the house today. We got Adam from Radical Toys. He'll be joining us shortly. Bjorn Jorgensen's here. Good to see you, Bjorn. Bruiser Brawler's in the house. Hey, Bruiser, how's it going, man? Good to see you. Nolan has showed up. I hope everyone had a good week. My week's been okay. Work's been fine, but good friend of mine passed away on Friday last week, and had to go to a funeral on Tuesday. It just wasn't fun. But other than that, hey, I'm doing all right. I'm still here. Bruiser wants to know how's things. T-Law is on the way. Yes, she is, and I was going to talk about that a little bit today. Will McLaughlin's here. Good to see you. Everyone needs to head over to Will's channel and Wilhelm Toy and Hobby. He's doing good there. Boba Hicks is with us today. Hey, Boba, good to see you, man. And Will tells us if we hit the like button, all our wildest dreams will come true. I don't know about that, but it sure would help me if you would hit like and subscribe too. If your subscribe button's still red, please subscribe to me. I need the subscribers. And Will saying hello to everybody. Goji-tron's here with us today. Good to see you there, Goji. Glad you showed up. Thanks, Nolan. I appreciate that. And let's get the show started today. I've been messing around with StreamYard a little bit, and in conjunction with OBS. As you can see, I've got a new overlay going on over here that I've been testing out. We'll work on some of that as we go along. Let's say hello to my good buddy Adam. He's going to join us here today. So let me give him an intro here. Hey Adam, how's it going, man? Good to see you today, man.
Good to see you. Hello, everyone. How you guys doing today?
Yeah, what have you been up to, man? Tell us a little bit about what's going on over there at Radical Toys.
Lots of stuff going on. Actually, I'm doing more art projects. I've been working on them all day today. I've actually got a new intro coming for Moto Joneser that I've been working on. So he's going to be getting a nice He-Man intro. I've got my other animation skit that's on its way because I'm still in the works of it. The animation's done, but I still have to do the. I got to add in the edit. Do basically all the editing's all I got to do. I wanted to show you guys what I've been doing for Lyric. Just a quick show. I did some artwork for Lyric, which is Moto Joneser's son, if you guys are familiar. So he's into Star Wars. So we're doing him a Star Wars package. This is going to be part of his intro too. So I took a screenshot of one of the intros and the artwork that I did. So we got Lyric dressed up as a Jedi. So we've been kind of doing that. And last but not least, I'm going to be giving him the original sketch of him that I did. So I don't know if you guys can really make that out, but
it's not too bad. I mean, there you go. If you kind of hold it that way, and you can see it a little better. But that's an excellent drawing there. You are an excellent artist there, Adam. I'm always amazed at your artwork. So that's good to see.
That's pretty much what's been going on over here at Radical Toys, and doing some more on live unboxing and stuff going on. So we got Wondar coming up this Friday. So we'll be opening up him Friday night. Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'm glad to hear that they've set Wondar out as a made to order like they did Grizzlord, because that gives more people a chance to get him that missed out the first time. And the only downside of that is there's a few of us, not naming any names here, that went over to the big auction site and then spent the big bucks to get one. So
yeah.
That's one thing that's downside of that. But I mean, I'd rather for everybody to get a chance to get him.
True enough. I that's the way to do it. I hope everyone can get them, because I keep hearing they're going to bring them back made to order, I guess is what they're doing. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah. And that's a good thing. And Bjorn, thanks for promoting Will's channel there. Will needs all the help he can get on that. And if anybody gets a chance, he does do a few live streams every now and then. We got another person joining us today. Let me intro him real quick, because I love to intro my guests. Thank you for coming in there, Grindhead Jim. How's things been going, brother?
Things been going good. I heard Wondar, and I was like, okay, I gotta go in.
Yeah, we were talking about Wondar. They're gonna put him up for made to order, which, like I said, I'm happy to hear it.
Yeah,
and I hope all the sons of bitches up there on
that's next week. And given how the made to order went on old Grizzlord there, it's good that it's the same price. It sucks we're gonna have to wait longer, but at least it's there. And for those that went ahead and scalped old 1D boy there, I almost did about 4 or 5 times, and I'm glad I didn't, for obvious reasons. I don't mind waiting for that figure. My biggest concern was that they were going to raise the price because it's a made to order thing. They didn't. And I heard some people complaining about the shipping. I'm like, it's the same shipping cost for everything they've done. So
Yeah, I think it was
the same
15
thing.
for Grizzlor, so it's a standard price. I pay $20 just to get an item in Canada within Canada, so it's not that
Right.
bad.
Oh, Goji. So since he brought it up, Resurrection Toys, we're doing well. We had a slight snag on some of the. Why do I have masks in my pocket? Oh yeah, that thing. We had a slight snag with some of the production because of a holiday I wasn't fully cognizant of. So I screwed up when I said, "Oh yeah, we're hoping they'll be done Friday." No. So
Yeah,
we
I think I caught a stream on that you talked about that.
I did a video yesterday. I did a pre-recorded video yesterday about that.
Yeah,
And
if you want to, I'll put you on full screen. Let you talk about that a little bit here on the show.
You don't
if
got to
you'd
put me
like
on full screen. You don't got to do that like that. Most of the people here know what's going on. I appreciate it, but you don't have to do that. Basically, we're pushing forward, and we have a couple artists that do a lot of kaiju artwork on Twitter that have seen our figures or have them already, and they're making drawings of all the characters, and those particular artists are getting, 500 retweets, 2,000 likes, and we're getting follows out the ass. A couple orders came in because of it, and it's like,
cool.
Okay, so that's the thing, is that we haven't even shipped the first wave yet. And in the first wave, there's at least 3 YouTubers that are a lot bigger than any of us. And they're all like, can't wait to shoot video and this and that. So I have a feeling that
once that happens,
going to happen.
It's going to explode.
Yeah, because as soon as we ship, we're releasing some items we already have ready to make. We're releasing color variants, troop builders, a bunch of stuff.
Well, I know that there's a lot of things you can't talk about, Jim, and if any of the questions that I'm going to ask are off limit questions, just let me know. But
I will.
We're all very excited, and one of the things that I was thinking about was accessory packs for action figures that we already have. Is that something that is possibly in the works, Jim?
It is definitely in the works. What we're working on right now, we have most of the stuff already made, but I have to approve the master paint and everything. So this is not going to go up for order next week. It will go up as soon as it's ready, as soon as possible. But with Marcus so busy with the painting, this next wave of orders is a little bit less, because the first rush was a ton of orders. Now we've got a little bit better. So what we're doing is we're going to take the OG Castle Grayskull weapons rack and all the weapons, and we're going to give them a really snazzy paint job. And I'm going to insist that it's solid, so we have a backing to it. Even if it's hollow inside, it's solid backing to it. We're going to paint it up to look like wood. So it's going to be similar to the Origins one, but with all the old weapons intact. And we'll make sure that they're all modified to work with Origins or Vintage, if at all possible. So just minor modifications of stuff we've already made. So that's a big one.
As a brand ambassador, I feel like it is one of my jobs is to bring things to your attention there, Jim.
Sure.
And I'm gonna switch over here to the toy cam real quick. As you can see, I'm really, really big into these Galaxy Warrior figures, and like the old Conan figure that Remco did, and Warlord back there. I was over on the Evil Auction site today and yesterday, looking for accessories for these guys, and those accessories are out the butthole expensive for original accessories, and for good reason. But I would love to see stuff like this available as accessory packs as well. For instance, Conan here, the original Conan the Warrior, I believe is what he was called, had some chest armor that looked like it was a lion's pelt.
So with that kind of stuff, the hard part, we can't clone it, so we'd have to sculpt it from scratch. Unless we can find it. Now we can put people out into Mexico and try to track it down, and then we can clone it. If we can't clone it, we'll sculpt it from scratch and try to make it better. So get me as many high res pictures as you can for the accessory you already have for that line. I need
well,
measurement.
one of the things that we could possibly do,
Yeah.
is get some actual product and let you guys.
Yeah.
The problem.
Yeah, but I don't want anyone to spend the kind of money that they're doing. There's ways. I mean, you got to figure that Marcus did Xenozilla and Predacon with just photo reference, and he sculpted it from nothing, something that level of detail. So as long as we know what the actual measurements are on the existing ones, we can compare it to the pictures. I'm not, and if it really comes down to it, if he says I can't do it, we'll take money out of the company kitty and get it. It's a business cost. It's no big deal if we have to. But yeah, that kind of stuff is something we've already talked about, where filling gaps and making sure that people have accessories, and not just for that line, for many other things. Obviously, I've hinted at it. We're looking at doing some Superpowers collection adjacent stuff. Old school, not the new Mac shit. Trying to, bring something to market. And I will tell you right now, we have no plans to do vehicles for any line right now. But if we do, the first one I want to do is the Invisible Jet.
That sounds like a wonderful idea. I was going to bring up vehicles the other day, but I didn't when you started talking about vehicles. There is one vehicle that I always wished that they had done for Masters of the Universe. It never got released. But what it ended up being, the prototype for that ended up being used to create the Battle Ram rear end. And that was Man-at-Arms Battle Chariot.
Okay.
I don't think that there's any actual photos of any model that they ever made. The only photos we have
are just sketches.
Yeah, the sketches and the picture that was in the original mini comic that a Man-at-Arms riding in this thing. And I would love to see that made. And I don't think it would be a very hard sculpt, but it may.
Probably not. That kind of thing is definitely in the realm, because you could use an Origins battle sled as your base. Just clone that and then, make, just have, then kind of build onto it or take away from it, kind of a thing.
Right.
That's probably how I would start something like that, to at least get the sled part of it done. Because he has the front, obviously it goes with the rear of the battle ram. And a vintage battle ram rear, that's easy to get. They're not expensive. So I would probably want to make sure that it was up to date in terms of sculpt detail, but could fit on the old battle ram if you wanted to custom paint the back end. I think the sled would be a relatively easy thing to do.
Bruiser Brawler's with me on that. The Battle Chariot's kind of close, but that would be a must-have. The Battle Chariot is not the battle ram. It's just a four-wheeled vehicle that Man-at-Arms could ride in, and it basically
let me take a look at this.
Yeah, they're easy to find. I think the Battle Ram blogs got pretty good high-res pictures of the original sketch.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that wouldn't be hard to do. It would be, there'd be some creative license there, because we want to get it more detailed. Than
You'd have to change ever so slightly, tweak that a little bit. Let me say hello to some of our rivals here. Rolando Flores has showed up. Good to see you. And of course, Galaxy Warriors got Lee Customs in the house. Hey Lee, good to see you. If you've solved your internet issues and everything, I would love to have you come on for a little while with us, if you don't mind. If not, that's up to you. But yeah, and like I said, Bruiser Brawler's right up there with us on that. He wants that Battle Chariot. That it would be a must-have thing for the line, and it's something that I wish had been created in the beginning, but I kind of know why it didn't. For for kids, the battle ram was a more toyetic idea than just something for
Oh
men.
yeah, because you
Right.
have the two separate pieces, and there's more to it.
Yeah.
I have a picture up here. I can share the screen just to show chat for those that don't know what it is.
Yeah,
Yep.
go ahead, man.
I've got a great picture of it from the Battle Ram blog. So this is beautiful, and you can certainly see where the Battle Ram, the wheels, they kind of took some of the wheel ideas away and a little bit of the sleekness of the design. So what I would want to do with this as a toy, obviously I want the wheels to work properly. I like the overall silhouette. I'd want the gun to swivel,
Yeah,
but I wouldn't want it to be able to be taken out.
right.
I'd want to make sure that there was handles in there. And if I want to make a perfect toy, okay, for everybody, what I would try to do, so you have like the handles that are on the battle the sled now,
Uh-huh.
and they're perfect for the hands. I would want to have a sliding like a sleeve to go over top of it, so it's a little wider for your vintage figures. So you can
Yeah.
kind of have something a little thinner that works with Origins, but go a bit wider for your vintage stuff. So you have the option of either or. But overall, like that's a really cool design. I wouldn't want to deviate too much from it. I would just want to take a lot of the rough detail and give it a little bit more panache,
Yeah.
and then figure out some decals because we have access to a decal print shop. We can do die cut the whole thing.
Oh,
Now they're
wow.
not, yeah. So like for example, the stickers that are being included with every single order, I just ordered those the other day. They're die cut, like a vinyl paper blend, real nice. And he already said if you ever want to do toy decals, we can do that too. So
Hey, Toy Bot, how's it
definitely
going?
some cool stuff. Hey, Toybot.
Uh,
Hi, Bruiser.
yeah, Toybot says that's a really sweet vehicle there. That it is. Like I said, that particular toy was only ever shown in the very first mini comic that came with He-Man, called He-Man and the Power Sword.
Right.
And it was the vehicle that Man at Arms was riding in that. And when I was a kid, I kept looking for it. I'm like, where is this toy? I want this toy. My Man at Arms needs this to ride in. But I think the Wind Raider ended up being Man at Arms' go-to vehicle after Battle in the Clouds.
Yeah, and
That's
it's
pretty much
something
the vehicle
where,
that I.
yeah,
Go ahead, Adam.
it's one of those interesting kind of things that you never saw. I was ranting about Secret Wars the other day, how all they had to do was make stuff that already existed in that scale. Like you had certain companies had done these little model motorcycles and cars and stuff that were real close to 3 3/4 inch scale. Like they actually had a rubber unarticulated Spider-Man on a motorcycle. Like, we'll just manufacture the bike without him on it, and put that in Secret Wars. They could kind of lean in and do the thing, and everyone wins. But no, they give us like these weird, like they look like cryo chambers, but they're supposed to be like these battle tanks. They look like you just lay in them and sleep in Alien or something on the Nostromo. It's weird.
Yeah.
So we're trying to avoid going in this weird direction where things don't make sense. And bear in mind, as we talk about things that are like, that'd be nice to do, unless it's related to the current line we have out, don't expect any of that stuff until at least after we have the first wave of Never Ending Story ready for press. Now, because we already have the molds for the Grayskull weapon set, that's going to be a relatively easy thing. I just want to finalize some stuff and make sure it's perfect, get some good pictures, and then put it up. So,
Well,
and I was thinking of calling
we
it.
know how lead time works. Sometimes things are planned up to 3 years in advance
Yeah.
before they actually get released, and we understand why. We know that this opportunity that's going on with Resurrection Toys is rather unique in the toy world. I think it's unprecedented. Personally, it's never been tried or done before, and the access that you have is phenomenal. But that doesn't mean that because we come up with an idea today, tomorrow a toy gets released. No, people. It does not.
Yeah,
work
I got one sculptor who's also my lead painter and partner. You know, I got one guy doing like the grunt work in terms of the actual toy making. Packaging, Rollo's been doing great on it, and if I didn't have him, I don't know what the hell we do.
Let me
Right on,
address.
Lee. Glad your internet's working.
Yeah, let me address Lee real quick. Lee, if you look up at the top of the chat, there's a pinned comment. In that pinned comment is a StreamYard link. And if you want to try to come on, that's great. You can come on while we're talking, and we can all talk together. I mean, that's kind of the way this show works. So just come on whenever you get a chance, whenever you feel like it. When I see you pop in the green room down there, I'll just bring you in, okay, bro? And if your camera's having trouble or you don't want to be on cam, that's fine too. I mean, we'd love to just be able to talk with you personally, because last stream we had a little audio issue and we didn't really get a really good interview.
By the way, did you notice the shirt that I wore for you today?
Yes, I see that.
Yeah, I wore it just for you because I know how big a fan you are, Grumpy.
Yeah,
I'm
a fan of Grumpy Bear. The Grumpy Bear I'm a fan of is the one that's in your intros, not the little new one that you bought.
Yeah, but he is a new one. Like it's one of the new ones. So this shirt literally pays homage to that. He's got the side eye, right? Just like in the intro. So I thought,
yeah, I like the side eye, and I like when he turns so he can take the side eye and look at you with it. That's kind of like cool.
You're under the age of 13, scram. I still get a kick every time he does that. I thought that was the coolest thing. I'd like to redo that.
My favorite thing that you ever did with him was have him to interview you. That was just out of this world fun.
He's gonna be a player in like a character player in toy reviews coming up. So it'll be an ongoing thing.
Wonderful. Yeah, that will be great.
Because people like him. I thought it was just a cool way to do the disclaimer, and then people really latched onto him. So eventually, I need to get a custom stuffy made that's like similar to him, but not him, and then we'll have like a little storyline where he gets mutated or something. Figured out.
Yeah. All right. Since I got you on the show, Jim, I thought you might appreciate something that I've been working on here. So
let's see it.
Let me pull myself up here. I've been messing around here with my OBS webcam, and
I saw that.
I've kind of come up with some things. Now, of course, there was a little hiccup at the very beginning of the show, and that little tech issue was all on me because I had something going on that I really shouldn't have. But I played this for you once before, but I'm going to play it again here for everybody so they can see it. And here we go.
All right.
But before you grab a soda, why not try a big wet glass of water first? Cold water is a drink that you can trust. No one's ever lost heat from us. So try drinking glasses. Down between your classes when you're thirsty. Reach for water. You know you're really awesome. It's the best no-calorie drink in all the world.
Yeah, that's awesome. And the thing is, like, I always, like, at the end of that commercial, I go, and 1,000 conspiracy theories were born from that commercial. And, putting fluoride in the water to make the frogs gay and all that stuff. Like that. They're indoctrinating our children to drink water. I'm like, bro, you're 70% water. Calm down. It's okay. No one's saying it should be 75%. This is how it works, bro. But that's awesome that you have it inside the TV, and it's a great way to showcase commercials. You can do it on the fly. And I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but with an OBS, when you do a media source, you can have a playlist, and you can manually.
Yeah, I saw that. The only problem is you have to make sure that all of the videos are the same size because you can't resize different videos.
There's a way to lock. There's a way to lock it. I don't know it off the top of my head. I'll look into it for you.
And
Black is here.
Yeah, Gilster's in the house too. Yeah. And let's see who else has showed up. That's who showed up. And I am doing well, Lack. And let me apologize to Lack for something I did last week. He was in class, and I was trying to add him in with Instagram, and I accidentally tried to call him on Instagram, and I immediately got it off of there when it happened. But then he texted me back and he said, "Hey man, I'm in class," and I'm like, "Oh man, I'm sorry. I apologize." So, yeah. And
That's great.
like says, like a rip in the space time continuum. All right. Well, it's good to see everybody showing up today for this for ye old stream here. Uh, there was a few things I wanted to cover today, and you guys just feel free to hang on while I start talking about some of that stuff.
Sure.
I'm gonna go over here to the toy cam real quick. What I was doing Friday when I got home from work, because I had to work yesterday too. So Lee's in the house. Let me bring him on in and see how he's doing.
Well,
Hey Lee, it's good to see you, man.
can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
It works. All right.
Great. Anyway, we're going back to solo layout here. I redid Conan Friday, and I put Man at Arms shorts on him and gave Buzz off his old shorts back. I did a repaint of the belt, so instead of being blue, it's now a chocolate brown. I wanted the shorts to match the color of the boots, which kind of almost matches the color of his little headdress here. And I repainted his armbands kind of the same color. They look a little more leathery now. And I did a repaint of a He-Man shield here. I made brown instead of red inside this part here, and colored it silver. And that's kind of going to be my Conan guy for now. I really wish I had that line vest that goes on it, but that thing costs way too much money. And then I kind of went back to this guy here, and I didn't like the color of the Rey Mysterio body and legs, so I went and bought a Ric Flair figure and tore him apart and got the upper torso and legs from him for Baltard, and then I repainted those red armbands from the Rey Mysterio figure so that they're kind of a bluish purple. They almost match the boot color and the short color, but I couldn't get the color just right, but it's close enough for what I'm doing. And I kind of want to keep working with these guys and maybe get them to looking a little better, but that's what I got going on with that right now. And Lee, I appreciate you coming on, and I'd love to talk a little bit about what you have going on and what maybe your plans are. Let me get myself back over here and get everybody back on the screen. So what we were talking about last week, and the internet kind of gave us a little bit of trouble there.
Yeah.
Was I wanted to let you talk in depth about how Lee Customs came about and how you decided to start this little venture up. So just go ahead and just give us a free form thought there, man.
Okay, well, the whole Origins head thing was pretty much an accident. I had made a full mold of a vintage He-Man, and that was my whole game plan, just to make a full He-Man. And people didn't like the Origins head. I modified the head to fit Origins bodies, and I was going to sell like 10 of them and be done. People asked, can you use Skeletor? And it just kind of went. Mm-hmm. And I've tried just to expand to get as many of the like unlicensed characters and whatnot as I can with vintage heads, and people prefer the vintage head if I can have it.
Yes, and that's what got me into it. I wanted vintage head. I started out with Man at Arms. I wanted a vintage head for Man at Arms. I wasn't satisfied with the mustachioed Man at Arms that they released, and I'd worked on making my own custom of that by taking the mustache off, and I wasn't pleased with the outcome of that at all. And I just the faces on those old vintage figures just seem a little fatter than the bases that are on the Origins figures.
Yeah.
So I started out with the Man at Arms head when you released that, and then I was like, okay, I got to have a He-Man head, and so when we put that up. I snapped that up, and I think I contacted you about Beast Man. I really wanted a Beast Man because
Yes, you did.
I wasn't satisfied with the closed mouth of the Beast Man that they came out with. I like that growling open mouth of the original figure.
Mhm.
And then when I started seeing the Travis Morgan Warlord head, I just had to have that. And then of course the other Galaxy Warrior figures just came out from there. And of course you had several Baltard heads up in different colors, and I think I contacted you to see if you could do a flesh tone one.
Mhm.
And,
Sorry it took so long.
yeah, it just grown from there. And of course I got the feet that you made for the five-toed feet, and I kind of like that idea. Now where do those five-toed feet come from that you're using?
Oh, they're from a Marvel Legends figure of Wild Child. They happen to be scaled almost perfectly, and the ankle joint is pretty much identical. So they're just those feet cast. I will be doing a different figure's feet for some people want bigger feet for Beastman, and I have those lined up ready to go. So I'll have two different options for him. Once again, they're from a Marvel Legends figure, but it works.
I actually wanted to ask Lee if you've ever done any flocking before.
Yes, I have. I've done G.I. Joe heads.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
I built a flocker. I almost shocked myself with it. Thankfully, I didn't, but I managed to flock a couple pieces.
Speaking of
nice.
GI Joe, now this is not the 80s GI Joes that he's talking about. These are vintage GI Joe figures. He has some of those vintage
big boys
GI Joe heads available right now for sale on his eBay store. Is that not correct, Lee?
Yeah, I should still have some in stock. Yeah.
Yeah, and
when Jim Largo watches this, he's going to be like, because he's trying to build specific characters and stuff, and he's been racking his brain, and I keep telling him, like, you're just going to have to piece it together. And the flocked heads, of course, are kind of the hardest thing to get.
Yeah, I don't have any flocked ones for sale.
Do you have the ability to do like the eagle eye thing, or is that too
No.
complicated for your setup right now?
I would know how it would work, but right now I don't have any molds built for that. It would be ridiculously complex. But I know how it works. I've seen people do it. I could, but it'd take me a long time right now.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I do want to reiterate so that everybody understands. Lee is not doing 3D printing. Lee is doing traditional resin pour.
Mm-hmm. And that's part of why I'm asking him, because I know he's doing good stuff. Because I know we don't, to my knowledge, we don't have a flocker available to us. So this is something we can't do. And I think that with your love of specific types of characters and the types of things you're doing, you're filling a really unique space in the realm. I can tell you that a lot of people like that particular head, and it might be worth looking into, because if you could buy a custom flocked head with the whatever eye color you want and hair color and skin tone, and it has the eye movement on it, people would probably go nuts once they figure out that you have it.
I'd be afraid how much that would cost, though, is the problem. That'd be so much like intricate pieces. I really wouldn't even know what to charge for that off the top of my head. That might be the downfall there.
I think the trick, and this is kind of what we look at with this type of thing too, you look at what it's going for, and you knock at least 10 to 20% off if you can afford to do so. Because you don't want to lowball the potential that you get for income, but you also want to make sure it's enticing. And it's a pain to that's the thing that I agonize about the most. I'm always worrying about prices, man. I'm just
understandable.
Like, is this too much? Yeah, because you don't want to go broke, you don't want to go in debt, but you also don't want to either give the impression that it's not a high quality product. Because one of my biggest questions, people ask, "What's this made of?" I'm like, "It's really thick vinyl," and they're like, "What? It's not just a solid piece of plastic?" Mm-mm. And I think you can throw these against the brick wall and all this stuff. And it's the same thing with resin. I think that when at a glance, the stuff that you have, people might make the assumption that these are 3D printed, and it's amazing that they're not. Like, it's so doing it old school.
I had to happen.
I'm really
in
impressed with everything you've done.
Well, thank you.
Is that? Yeah.
I kept having people at show ask, "Oh, is he 3D printed?" No, so I had to answer that quite a few times. So I'm used to that at this point.
Well, one of the questions that I had last week, but I didn't get a chance to ask. And Adam and I were discussing that as well. So in a traditional resin pour, and I don't know if you've got any trade secrets or not. If you do, feel free to keep them. But
Okay.
so when you make your mold, are you making that as a plaster mold?
I'm making a silicone mold. I just use a one from Smooth On. It's 15 slow, I believe. It's very flexible, easy to pull them out of.
So it's a
And easy
silicone mold
to make another one too. Like they're
Yeah.
it's nice.
So the other question that I had was, when you make your mold, how many pours can that mold work for before you have to make a new mold?
It depends on the piece. The more complex and finer details, the faster they'll wear out. Generally, you can expect about 20 to 25. It really depends. Mold release can extend them sometimes, but not often. So I've had a couple break really early on. The Skull Man I was running is already dead. I have to replace that, which I'm not even sure why that one failed. That one just did. But like my Beast
Will's wanting to know what your eBay handle is. I think it's J Buford. Is that 63 or 62? I can't remember.
I believe it's 63. It's actually my mom's old account. She used to sell Civil War stuff on. It's J Buford 63. But I originally
I've got it here.
All right.
Yeah,
I was
I'll link it in chat.
Thank you. I was only going to sell 10 He-Man heads, and we were just like, well, this has feedback. Use this one. And then I ended up there, and I can't really change it now because people are looking there for the heads. So I'm there.
Yeah. And I have your card here, and I think on the last stream I did get a chance to go in and put these in there in the description. His Twitter handle is Lee_customs for Twitter. His Instagram handle is Lee__custom.
Yeah. I couldn't get the original there. I tried.
Yeah. And so go and like and subscribe to all of Lee's channels. He's got a YouTube channel.
Thank you.
Well. I believe Bjorn has already put the link to his YouTube channel up. As a matter of fact, there is a wonderful video that Lee has put up recently. I'm going to plug you there, Lee, where he made a custom snout spout figure using a jitsus that looked like the Filmation's hose nose. So even if you don't want to do that particular figure, what Lee tells you is how to sand those parts down so that when you're painting them, you don't get as much paint rub, and it's well worth watching. I wish I had seen that video before I did some of my work that I've done over here, because I didn't do my due diligence when it came to sanding those parts down. And I do have a bit of paint rub down on the ankles where where that joint is on the foot, and I'm living with that right now. But eventually I may take those feet back off and sand those joints a little bit like you suggested. Where did Lee go? Get him back on the stream. There we go. Sorry,
he popped out for a second. Wrong button.
Sorry, I got booted. I don't know why.
I may have done
me.
that by accident. I'll take responsibility for that. I didn't mean to do that. Anyway, yeah, I was giving you a plug there on that video that you put up, and I hope you do more of those in the future.
Well,
but
thank
tell
you.
us a little bit about what that was about and how you decided to do that.
The hose nose custom, honestly, I don't even really remember. I was just thinking I want to do something with that head. And I thought, well, I started to film it, and I was originally just going to use a He-Man body. And like, wait, I can use a Jitsu. I got Jitsus in stock because I buy too many when they're on sale.
Yeah.
So I figured I'd just film it, and it worked fairly well. I wish I'd filmed it better. I had to cut a part where I smacked the camera stand with my head, and it fell over. So I don't want to do that again.
Well, hey, I'm telling you right now, stuff like that happens every time we film, which is why you see all the cuts in our videos, to the point where a lot of times people put cuts in their videos even when they don't have to have cuts in their videos, just because everybody has cuts all over their videos. And I know you've noticed that, Jim. As a matter of fact, one of my friends, John Paul Revere, he does that on purpose when he's parodying other people's videos. He sticks those cuts in there on purpose just because everybody sticks cuts in their videos. So that's no problem. When we're cutting videos, we're going to have to do that. We make errors all the time. I know I do all the time as well. But yeah, Lee, I appreciate you coming on the show. And
sure.
do you have any future releases? I'm really interested in seeing more of the knockoff heads from some of the different figures that were out there, other than what you already
Okay, yeah.
have.
I have many coming up. I don't know exactly who's in the next set. What I will do, it's hard to decide what I'll do in the set because I think I don't want to overwork myself and I do 7 at a time because I'm an idiot. But I can confirm next set we'll have Hercules from Remco because I've been asked too many times to do Hercules. It's
Yes,
going to be real
yes.
simple.
Hercules and Makiste were the two figures that I'm looking forward to you maybe doing.
I will do. I have multiples of all of that line, and they will all be done. I can confirm that. I don't have all the Remco figures, but of the quote unquote Warlord line with Hercules, Machiste, I have them all. So eventually they will all be done.
Great. And what I want to tell everybody this, and correct me if I'm wrong on this. I think I'm right. One of the nice things about Lee is that he doesn't pre-order anything. When you order that stuff from him, it's already made.
Yes.
And he takes it down off of eBay when he's out of product and puts it back up when he gets product back in stock.
That's
I've only
a
ever
great practice for customs, man. That's the best.
I've technically done a pre-order once because I ran out of a head because one had failed. So technically that one guy had a pre-order I had to finish real quick, but that was the only time and I was accidental.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, Lee, one of the things that I've come into in the past when dealing with customizers, and all intentions are great, but the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Guys will come on, they'll either get a 3D printer or they'll get a way to make some kind of custom, and they'll immediately open up a storefront and they'll start taking orders. And when the orders get to the point where they can't keep up with them, they tend to disappear. And that I don't want to ever see that happen with any person that's doing great customs like you are.
Well, thank
Continue
you. Yeah.
doing it the way you're doing it. Don't get greedy. Let what is happen. Sell what you've got in stock. Take it down when it's not in stock anymore till you get stock back up, and you never go wrong. But if you get 1,000 orders or 10,000 orders or 100,000 orders, and you find yourself in a bind because you took too many pre-orders, I mean that's where the downfall comes when you're doing customs.
Yeah, it doing production, even when you have a factory available like we do, it gets scary. So we've had to bake in certain processes of like, here, this is a minimum 2-week turnaround, da 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 da, and we even hate doing that because originally we wanted to do like he's doing, have a stock, do the sold out, all that stuff, and we come to find out that people were much more interested in custom things. So we just decided, okay, every order is going to be MTO, every single one.
Well,
and that's just but that's only because we have the bandwidth to do it. I can't imagine if Marcos was doing one at a time by himself, how that would work. So I like your business model a lot. And I also want to say, I had only one Warlord figure as a kid. I had Hercules. So
Nice.
I'm excited. I'm going to get me one of them. I'm going to get
All
me one
right.
of them. Because and here's the best part about Warlord figures. If you don't have a figure to put the head on, you can just get a He-Man for like $10 or less.
That's something
Like,
I was going to reiterate. The He-Man book that's out there now, it doesn't matter whether it's got the old head on it or the new head, because you're going to pop it off and toss it anyway.
Yeah.
The He-Man figures are available, and the more we buy, the more Mattel thinks that they got a hit on their hands. So if we're making custom figures, it's a good idea to have a good selection of He-Man bodies to work from.
That's actually part of the reason I started doing knockoffs. I totally forgot. I wanted to move He-Man from Walmart because there were so many at the time. I was buying as many as I could and had to justify them to myself to do anything with them. So that's why all the knockoffs started. I totally forgot about that. That's why I did that.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, Lee, the idea of vintage heads is great, but the idea of being able to do the knockoff figures to go along with them, that's where I'm at right now. I mean,
right.
There's a couple of vintage heads that I'm probably going to wind up wanting. Let's get this in the stream there, Grindhead. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it right there.
There he is.
again, it's a relatively simple custom to make off of a
Mhm.
He-Man. You can get some of that cord. That cord is $5. You'll get like 10 feet
Yeah.
of it on
Yeah.
Amazon, and
I
then the
am going
rest
to
of it's
try to have
paint.
his club.
You're
So
gonna try to
you
have
can
his
do the whole
club.
set.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's another thing I was gonna ask you about, Lee. Since you're doing those resin pours, are you able to make the weapons as well?
I can. I suck at it. I've made multiple weapon molds. I can occasionally get something decent, but nothing great. But since his
Uh-huh.
club slash staff is just one long piece, I should just be able to make it very similar to a head mold, just a really long mold. I pour it in, it should be fine. I have a problem
Yeah.
with the separation lines in the weapons. I'm working on it, but I haven't gotten anything I like yet.
Okay.
Right.
Well, I was talking to Jim about Resurrection Toys perhaps doing this as a future release as well. But the weapons that the original Remco figures had, not just the Warlord, but also the Galaxy Warriors and Galaxy Fighters and all those other guys that came out under different names, all the same molds.
Yeah,
I would love to see weapons packs that have those weapons in them,
for
other
sure.
than just the standard He-Man weapons that we're all familiar with.
Mhm. Now, on my end, I will have the armors soon. I've figured out everything except I need to resize the Galaxy Warrior armor because it's slightly too small to fit in the Origins body. I have to extend the straps, but I have the resin figured out.
Actually, the now my guys are wearing Galaxy Warrior armors, and it works out pretty well for me.
The that is stretchier than the resin I have is my problem. You can't really stretch the resin. And
Gotcha.
the Galaxy Fighter does fit better with the one strap along back and a little part that tabs down. That works better than the Galaxy Warrior sort of He-Man knockoff armor. That's harder to get on.
What about the Conan Lion Slash?
Don't have it. If I did, I would consider it. I don't have it.
Okay, yeah, I was looking at that on eBay myself, and the prices on that are ridiculous.
Yes, I do
I'm
have
talking
the Conan the King armor,
$90.
but I don't have the Lion. So
Yeah, and
I guess that's something we're going to have to work on for all you guys then.
Well,
What would,
as you
what
can
would
see, as you can see, Conan looks a little necky over here. Let me change the camera over to the toy cam real quick. Yeah, Conan's looking a little necky over here. You know, he needs something across his chest. I'm thinking about making him a vest, but that Lion Slash would just be the bee's knees.
Will, did you have a question?
Yeah, I was just wondering how long would it typically take you from finish to start to do a custom, just one custom, like roughly a 5.5 figure.
Like the whole figure?
Yeah, like
just doing
kinda
heads
curious.
and feet.
You just do the heads and feet, do you?
Yeah, so far I will expand. I'm moving on to hands soon. I have to do multiple hands. And eventually I'll try to do full figures. I'm doing an art show. I'm doing a show as an artist next year, so I'd like to have some figures by then fully made.
So how long would it take you to roughly just do a head then? Like just to do a from
Oh, a
finish to
head, just
start?
we're talking just pouring it or painting it and everything.
The whole thing.
Okay, pouring realistically after the mold's done, we're not factoring in mold making time, I assume. So pouring would only take about 10 minutes. And painting the head depends on the head. Skeletor could take me a couple hours. Then there's certain figures where I have to paint like eyes and that's it. Like a Skull Man I can have done painted in 20 minutes with drawing time.
Okay. Cool.
And at one time you were offering unpainted heads as well as painted heads. Is that correct, Lee? Lee? We may have lost Lee here, folks.
You might have disconnected or something.
Possibly.
Yeah, I think at one time that Lee was offering unpainted heads. I don't know if he still is or not.
Can you hear?
Hey, man.
Okay. Sorry, I got a pop up.
Yeah. At one time, you were offering the unpainted heads on your eBay site.
Yes.
I don't know if you still are or not.
Some I'd like to have them more, but the problem is the painted sell better, and the molds only have so much use. So it's kind of this awkward game of I have to gauge which is better to have.
Well, I know some people are lazy. I'm not naming any names or anything. But some people are a little lazy, and they'd rather have rather have the head painted, pre-painted, and then pay the little extra bucks for it than to have to sit down and do it themselves. And Gilster is asking if you're going to be doing any of the AWA wrestling style figureheads as well.
Some of them depends on really which ones I think would be useful or which ones are requested a lot. I've had requests for figures I don't own because people request the really rare ones, which I don't have. But if I find them someday, sure.
Well, this is just a thought, folks. If you want Lee to do something special for you, buy him the down figure and send it to him.
I did have a friend send me a head in the mail, which was very nice of them. So I'll make a mold.
I mean, out of context, that's horrifying, but knowing that it's a toy head makes it better. Yeah. And I think with this stuff, it's really cool to see things like that. Now, if we were to branch into doing Warlord weapons or armor or anything like that, I guarantee you in all of our listings, we're going to link to Will for heads and stuff like that, because we don't want to take away from it, because plus it's just something we're not equipped to do right now, because we just have too many things on the shelf, and we want to support you. So I think it'd be cool to kind of be like, you want a weapon and some armor? Great. You want a head? Go get this. And put all that together. Origins, Hercules, kind of a thing.
And well, let me ask Lee a question real quick there, Jim. Lee, are you able to actually do any kind of wax sculpting yourself, making heads that just don't exist yet, or are you just not at that level of artisan?
I sort of can. I do have wax and I worked with that. I've mostly worked with Sculpty or Milliput or Epoxy Sculpt my entire life. I did at one point make a unique head. It was meant to be one of the Filmation. Oh my God, why can't I remember not Gremlins, Gargoyles or something. Skeletor employees with the horned helmets. I did one of those heads once, and I have a mold, and I'm okay with it, but I've never been happy enough to list it.
Gotcha.
But I would like to do a full set soon. I have a full head, hands, feet. I have an idea in mind I want to play with. I just haven't had time to get working on it.
No, that sounds like something that may happen in the future. So just keep your eyes peeled, folks. You never know what might come from Lee Customs in the future.
Well, thank you.
Something I was toying with, getting Marcos to do something. Again, this is probably next year before we get to do it. But I wanted to try and figure out a way to make casts of heads in a relatively simple way, and then send him the cast of certain heads, and here's how I want you to modify this sculpt. I think the Koldar head, if you were to modify that and just so the helmet is the entire head, right? So it's just like this thing, and then maybe lengthen out the horns and shit like that, and then have a real nice kind of a carbon, like a really, really aged looking metal on it, and then maybe we could come up with some armor to go with it, and just make it like a troop builder, like this random troop builder in a Filmation style, because you're starting with the base of Koldar, and then you get all this, and then we could go, and then that would be a vehicle for him to make wacky new weapons and just go nuts, so the people could make whole troops of that kind of stuff.
Yuck, Jim Largo. I'll tell you something that and I know Adam will probably back me up on this, but this is something that I've always wanted to see happen, and it's almost happening with the Skeleton Warriors that there's maybe going to release in the future.
They confirmed that they are. They're just not sure what avenue they're doing it with.
Yeah, well, I hope it's a troop builder pack personally, where you get three Skeleton Warriors, and maybe with different heads and
oh yeah, even if it's just two.
Whatever at this point.
But back to my point, in the old Golden Book, Skeletor had minions that were just basically everyday troops, and they were called Skelecons.
Skelecons, yeah.
Oh my God, I would love to see the Skelecons done in some form or fashion. That would be a wonderful thing, don't you guys think?
They're the main ones that I'm waiting for to come out.
Yeah,
someone did have a Skelecon head on eBay. I don't remember who right now.
Is there a Skelecon head on eBay? I haven't seen that.
Someone had. I got one, but I don't remember who had it, and they might not have them anymore. But I did buy one, and it was really nice.
Yeah.
I can't wait for
Gilster says, is there a way to flock a Beastman Origins to be Mossman?
Oh, sure. That'd be real easy, actually.
Okay. Well, I know there's somebody out there, and I can't remember who it was, and it
I'm
might.
thinking the exact same thing. There's somebody that's done it.
Well, they did. They had somebody flock a beast man for them, so that beast man had orange fur, and I can't remember who actually
It's
did.
Hebrew. It's Hebrew.
Yeah,
It's
Hebrew
Hebrew.
did that, and I don't know who he had to flock it for him, but that was an awesome looking figure.
Like, you know, they have said that, like you've seen in the artwork, like Moss Man's coming to the line. But whether or not he'll be flocked is anyone's guess. I'm going to guess no. They might flock the head, but they leave the rest whatever.
That kind of like Panther, you know. There's a flocked Panther out there that's a Walmart exclusive, and if anybody wants one, they're in stock in just about every Walmart that I ever go in, and they sit and they peg warm because they want.
And they also don't do price cuts on them. That's the weird.
Yeah,
thing.
that's the thing. They're
Like
not
they're
going
sitting
on
there
clearance.
at $40, and they're wondering.
Yeah.
And you know what? You know what I think it is. I got to be honest. At first, I thought it was the price point. Now, as soon as someone touches that damn creepy box, they're like, ugh, and they just put it back on the shelf, and they don't want it because every time I pick up that box, I'm like, it's creepy as hell.
Talking about the way the box feels.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So like
they sort of flocked the box too. I think that
Right.
was a selling point at one time.
Odd choice.
Yeah. So, Will, if you're looking for an easy money maker until a Mossman actually gets announced, you know you can get those Lords of Power Beastman, like they're peg warming like crazy. It'd be inexpensive. You just pop the head off, take the custom Beastman head that you may or may not make, paint it, and then paint the figure, and boom, you got and then you could flock them. You got
Brings me
Mossman
up to
custom.
it. No. Jim, you just opened up a memory of mine that I've been meaning to get with Lee about.
Mm-hmm.
We already know that you have a Beastman original head,
yes,
ready to go and probably selling them right now.
Mm-hmm.
Cast that thing in the same red color as red Lords of Power Beast,
I've been meaning to do that,
and so that we can actually have Beastman from the comics.
Mm-hmm.
And that I think that would be a thing to do, because that's the only thing that's stopping me from featuring Beastman from the mini comics right now, is the fact that I do not like the Lords of Power head sculpt at all. I want an original.
It's interesting, but it's not Beastman. That's the problem.
I used that head sculpt to make like trolls at one point, and they worked pretty well as a placeholder army builder. So they work well as non-Beastman.
But
right.
if you can take the original Beastman a vintage figure head and mold that thing in the red that matches Lords of Power Beastman, yeah. I know you get at least one person buying one, possibly even two people, yeah, and maybe even three. I don't know. So
oddly, that figure doesn't peg warm here though. The Lords of Power Beastman, I don't see him anymore in this whole area.
Yeah. Well, I've got one, and I just don't like the head on it. I want a red vintage Beastman head on him.
Hopefully you get into doing the like accessories and stuff too, because I'm looking for one of those. The thing that stops me from displaying and purchasing the mini comic Stratos is that piece that goes around his neck. Without that piece, it's just it's not mini comic.
Gallows Dream Shop is the only place I know that sells a decent one. But the problem with that one is you have to cut the little edges on it and add some string or something or thread, like I did, red thread in there, so that it has some flexibility when you put it on him.
It's a bit pricey, but the new Eternia Stratos coming soon does have that, so probably will scale well for this. So
that's going to be a good alternative. So hopefully that'll probably fit the Origins. More than likely it will. If anything, it might be a little bit too big, but it'll definitely go on for sure. I was thinking of that too.
Lack, if you DM me a link to that video, I'd appreciate it. I'll certainly watch it when I get a chance later on today. And Michael Purvis is in the house. I want to address something with Michael. He contacted me the other day on Facebook as Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures, and said that he was redoing the way he does the instant messaging on Facebook, and wanted to know my personal Facebook page, which I did give to him. And if you go ahead and friend request me on that, as soon as I get that friend request, I'll give it back to you. But be aware that my personal Facebook page is a barren area. I don't use it for very much, and it's just for privacy reasons. There's no picture of me on there, and the main banner at the top just says Facebook wasting people's time since 2004. So I'm not a fan of Facebook, but I do use my Facebook page more than anything else. And let's see, like Sivrak was telling me about that video. So like I said, you send me a link to that video either in Instagram or Facebook DM. I'll certainly be glad to watch that video. And if you want me to, I'll download it and feature it here on the channel sometime if you'd like me to. Just let me know what you want, and I'll help you out on that. All right, guys. I was going to talk about a couple other things as well that I picked up this week, and I got that Pixel Dan book. I know you guys have been seeing it in the background over there. So I got this book. Now, there's supposed to be another book as well, and I don't have that book yet, and I think I might get it. But this book here is just absolutely gorgeous.
Isn't it?
Yes.
I love every bit about this book. I mean, it's just, and I really haven't had a chance to read any of the articles in it, but I can't wait to get this book out and just actually get in there and read everything that in the interviews, because I think he actually got a chance to interview Mark Taylor before he passed away as well.
He did.
And Val Staples and Pixel Dan have done an excellent job with this book. Now, is there a companion volume to this, Jim? Or I think there is. Is there not? What's it called?
There is. I think it's characters of Master of the Universe, something like that, where it's just a compendium of the characters themselves.
Okay.
And that was an exclusive through the publisher, but you can get it relatively easily on the secondary market. I don't think Dan has any of those, or at least he hasn't the last couple times I've seen him. But that, if you're looking for it, if you go on the Amazon listing for that book, you can at least see what it is. I believe it's the characters of Master.
Do you have that book yourself, Jim, or you just got the one I have?
I got the same one you had. I mean, he gave it to me and then he signed it for free. So I couldn't be like, did you have the companion one too? So I can't do that.
Guy, but
but the next time I see him, which will be end of next month, I was hoping to do a trade. Like I'm going to trade him some kaiju stuff, which I know he'll be into. And hopefully, if he has,
I don't want to be that guy either. But I could send you my book, and when you do see Pixel Dan, you could ask him to sign it for me. But nah, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I could do that. That's no problem.
We'll talk about this off channel, but yeah, that was something that was in the back of my mind. But it's hard to ask people to do things like this for you because it's a burden on them when you do that. But you know what I mean.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, because I'll be, bringing a whole bunch of boxes and stuff of toys. It's like, well, what's a book? I'm still carrying shit in there. It's not like if I was going without doing all the toys and everything, I'd be like, I don't want to carry his book, but I would still do it, But the whole reason he gave it to me, the number one reasons he didn't want to take it on the plane. It's number one reason. He had one left. He's like, I know you'll get use out of this. Yeah, and then he gave it to me, and then all the Game Chasers guys were like, because they didn't get one given to them, and he says like, he's the most serious toy collector of all of you, so I know he's going to enjoy it, and so he just signed it, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. He just kind of went to all the guys. It was pretty funny to me.
Yeah. And anything for you, Bill. I think that's true. Bjorn that says that all the time. But we're all getting something out of this. Speaking of which, Jim.
Oh.
It's coming, man. I swear to God, it's coming.
I believe you, man. You know, it's okay.
I've actually got some boxes over here that my wife brought in, and she brought in some styrofoam, big, huge, honking pieces of styrofoam for me to cut so that I can make custom inlays in the box to hold this stuff in it so that it ships good.
Wow.
And
I mean, that's dedication.
Well, the main thing I'm worried about, Jim, is
the trouble alert.
Yeah. This thing is hollow. It's just an empty box basically. And
you know what you could probably get away with that? I was thinking about this. Use paper towel to wrap around all the areas where there's recess to where you get a perfect square. Tape that up lightly, wrap that in bubble wrap, tape that lightly, and that would probably be enough. You wouldn't have to go to the length of doing the styrofoam.
I have already decided that I'm going to get a box that's about the size that's going to fit inside of, and fit it inside of a box, and then have not peanuts, but pieces, maybe sheets of styrofoam sitting in there on top of it to layer it out so that it.
I appreciate you respecting my shipping peanut allergy. I really appreciate that. Well, that's what I call it now.
Well, look, I've opened packages before and that shit goes everywhere, and it's just a pain in the ass. And anybody that ships me styrofoam peanuts, I've got one word for you: screw you, Jack.
That's right. That's right.
And,
now, I don't know if you know this or not. Actually, I know you don't because you couldn't have seen it. So, Badger sent me a package of a bunch of different stuff, and inside the package, he took a little tiny bag, and he sent me a single packing peanut, and he autographed it. So I promised him what I'm gonna do. You know, when I get a place or whatever, I'm gonna get one of those little square frames. I'm gonna glue that sucker inside of there. I'm gonna frame that son of a bitch, because that was like the cutest. That was the cutest callback to the whole peanut thing. I was like, that's perfect, dude. That's
absolutely.
And yes, Gilster, I'm a huge fan of those. I have the Primal Age King Shark up there. It's one of my favorite figures.
I wish I'd gotten into that line when it first started, but I just didn't. And the Batcave set would be a wonderful additional play set for He-Man.
Yes. And it's relatively expensive now. I've seen it anywhere from $120 to $200.
Yeah, and
now occasionally,
sad thing about that whole set is it was available retail. You didn't have to go anywhere special to get it.
Yeah, I didn't know the things existed. Like
me either. And I vaguely remember seeing some of the figures at a GameStop one time.
Right, and that's the thing I was going to say. Like I've told the story before. Like I have all the horror movie slasher figures from that line. Love them to death. And the first one I got was the Hellraiser one. And when I got it, I did not make the connection of the sculpt. I just thought it was like, who the hell decided to sculpt him? Like it didn't even cross my mind, right? And then I realized what it was. I was like, oh, that's cool. And but again, had I known it at the time, and had I been into toys, it was just like, what a difference like 18 months to 2 years makes, man. And
I know.
Woulda, shoulda, coulda.
See, I remember seeing some of the horror figures in the NECA section at Target. The problem with the NECA section at Target is you never know what's in stock over there and what's not. And the shit that's over there just overwhelms you. I mean, actual shit, the crap that nobody wants to buy, like Billie Eilish figures and shit like that. And all those Funko Pops and shit that's all over there. You go over there and you look at all that shit and you miss all the good shit that's hid underneath all that.
Right. And that's the thing. Like people ask me like why I'm exercising, trying to get in shape. And I said, well, one of the things is so I can actually search in toy aisles, because right now, like just, getting down there, like it's like a 20-minute operation to get back up.
I'm with you on that, Jim. As a matter of fact, I was well over 300 pounds about 3 years ago. well over about 350. And I'd gotten to the point to where if I dropped something in the floor, I pretty much gave up. Okay, that shit's lost. Fuck it, I'm about to get me another one. And getting down on your hands and knees to get on the bottom shelf. Screw that shit. Hey, come here, Sarah. Get on there and get that right there for Daddy, please.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad for you
I've gotten
guys
real good with
because I
picking
can
stuff up on
literally
my
put it
feet.
Do you have articulated toes like your hand?
Close enough. It's close enough.
I had a friend of mine's wife. She could wiggle all of her toes independently like that. I haven't been able to ever do that.
Yeah, I had a real bad fracture on my left foot that I thought was just a bad sprain, and it healed not so great. And I have no desire to re-break my foot, so my left foot's not nearly as good as my right, but it functions. It's all right.
And Gojatron may be on to something there. The collectible section is merchandised by a group of drunken chimpanzees. Yes, I agree.
That was true during the prequel trilogy Star Wars era. They've moved on to heroin and PCP fueled orangutans. I've seen them.
Meth. And Lax, right? Yeah, Billie Eilish figures. Can you believe that somebody makes a Billie Eilish figure? Why? Nobody's buying it because that's all I see over there sometimes is that damn figure all in the way of all that good shit that's underneath it. And like Sivrak says, monkey toe. But yeah, the section of Target over there with NECA is just weird. And the one at Walmart is even worse.
We might have one or two on our Walmart shelf. We got nothing over there, but our Toys R Us has quite a bit. Mostly the horror stuff, though. The NECA horror movie stuff. We get a lot of that over there.
Meth fuel chimps with machetes. It sounds like my home protection plan. Okay. Chimps, yep.
Oddly, the Savage World DC line at Target, my Target stock them in the actual figure section. They put them on end cap and everything, and then they just went away. Don't know why they were in that section. Never saw them again.
I don't know what I know that part of the problem with Walmart is that it's being stocked by the regular stockers in Walmart, and they don't know what they're stocking, and they don't really give a damn. Right. They're just sticking the shit on the shelf.
That's right.
Unless you have that rare instance where that person that manages that the toy section at that one Walmart you went to, which I'm still impressed by that story.
Yeah, she's a sweet lady. I haven't seen her since. I don't know what days that she.
I hope he didn't get her fired.
I probably not, because I'm pretty sure that nobody working at that Walmart watches my show. But
I really hope not.
Last time I was over there, I think I did a video. They had everything in stock and on the shelf, but the problem was all the video I shot and stored and came out, so I had to come up with something to put up. So I did the storyline with my wife. Getting mad at me for going across the river over there and hit me in the head with a rolling pin. Way too many Billie Eilish figures collecting dust. There absolutely are.
And they're not even like good custom fodder. That's the part that sucks. Like, I don't mind when something goes on clearance or like everything, because that means you could if it's customizable to something cool. But NECA is just a waste of plastic.
Speaking of Tron, Black talks about Tron, which makes me come up think about them. Are they doing some Tron figures, or have they done some Tron figures that were movie accurate here recently, Jim?
I know that they had some reaction figures at some point.
They made them. But Diamond made them, I think.
Diamond did them. I know that a while back, and when I mean a while back, maybe pre-Coof while back, they had reissued the old I forget the cord company. Tony, yeah, the light cycles and the figures from that line, which I had them as a kid, and somewhere around here I still got that damn red light cycle I had when I was a kid.
I had the villain guy. That's the only one I had, and that's all I had. So he just kind of mixed in with my Star Wars figures, which of course was the point. but they're great. Like they're like just real simple, fun little figures and stuff. And I always
Yeah, I
very
had Stark,
coveted
and
the
I
light
think I
cycle.
had either Flynn, and I always wanted Tron, but I could never find Tron. And
Yeah,
this
they
one I
were not
did.
distributed great because you'd go to the store and you'd only get like there's only be like one or two figures there, and a lot of times the card backs were beat up. And oh, there you go, Diamond Select. And I gotta tell you, like every time Diamond Select puts up pre-orders, I always look at their stuff first. Like they're coming up with some cool stuff. Like they just put up a Super Scroll, and again, Super Scroll's supposed to be bigger than all the guys in the FF. So that was an immediate pre-order for me because for the price, you get a nice big, overlooking Fantastic Four. Now, the costume on that particular figure, it's a little gaudy to me. I'm probably going to repaint it because the Super Scroll I remember, it was just a purple jumpsuit with the black cod piece, the black boots, and then like it pointed off his shoulders. Like the purple and the black, I always thought was very striking. Um, so that's not what it is, but it's a freaking scroll, and it's pretty cool. And now if they're doing Secret Invasion coming up, hopefully we're going to get some really cool scroll variants. Hopefully some scroll troop builders and Marvel Legends. That'd be great. But to have a Super Scroll from Diamond Select, so metal.
No, that would be. I mean, I kind of wish that they would re-release the Tron figures as kind of a retro figure that maybe had a little more articulation to them, but were still clear like that.
Yeah.
And those damn light cycles with the rev up action, man, I love those things.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing. Like Tron was one of the figures that I was like, we could do some bootlegs of those easily. Once we get going on like superpowers adjacent stuff, you just put them in the buck for superpowers, just make them translucent. You have to just got to make heads and everything else. That'd be easy, but the light cycles, I don't have the first clue how we do that.
That's the Gochi says there's a few Tron figures on Big Bad.
Oh, okay.
My problem with Big Bad Toy Store is the same problem I have with Evil Bay. Is every time I go over there, I end up spending money I don't have to buy things I don't need. So,
I mean that I could say that about any online marketplace ever.
Pretty much.
And the Diamond Select Tron figures that they have, they're good price, like $25. And there's actually a Tron light cycle from a completely different company. It looks like a model. It's kind of cool. It's interesting. But you can get the Tron figure looks great. Let me pull them up here.
Yeah, they're $19.99 here at Big Bad Toy Store.
It's not bad at all for what it is, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, it's talking of Big Bad Toy Store. There's something that's coming up here, and everybody's excited about it. They are, yeah. They just gave me the shipping notice the other day. This thing is on its way. It's the new T-La with Zoar. Now, as we're looking, this picture here that we're looking at is obviously the pre-production model that they made, and the gold highlights and paints are a lot more vibrant on this, I think, than the actual figure is going to be.
It's going to have a ponytail too.
Yes.
That's why you do that.
The head sculpt actually does include the ponytail, as you can see in this picture here. I don't know if that's. Let me see if I can embiggen that for you guys. Can y'all see that a little better?
Yeah, and I think with the weapons and the accents, if the final figure does have that brighter sheen to it, this becomes the definitive T-La for sure.
Yeah.
And the ponytails are real nice too.
Jim, as I move through these pictures here of the pre-production model, we get over here to the actual boxed figure, and as you can see, the colors are much more muted there than they are.
But they're still more vibrant than what we had on the original.
That's true. That's true.
Plus, she has the updated knees.
Yes.
She's also got the white boot covers too instead of the burgundy. So
Right.
it's gonna be more like the original Tila to me. So
For the red
it's gonna be a
staff
good
the
one.
original has. So mix and match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I wish they had gone ahead and molded that shield in that gold color as well.
Me too. I think that was a missed opportunity. But I understand why they did it. They want to make some differentiation, but I feel like it would have been better to have the shield in the gold and then keep the staff the same color as it always is. But I gotta say, this is the first time I'm seeing the packaging, because for the longest time, they haven't had that packaging, because now that they are shipping it, this is the first time I'm seeing it. I think it's beautiful.
Oh, really? I covered
Yeah,
it there. I
hadn't
think
seen
it
the
was
packaging
Axel that dropped it.
When you covered that, were you able to get the back of the box, or did you just get this image here that I'm getting off of Big Bad?
I believe I got the back of it too, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to go back to my video to check, but I think Axel did have the front and the back. I think.
And
Pretty sure.
Gojitron says my Telazor is on the way as well, along with Fire Lord. That's cool.
Dude, you're gonna love that Fire Lord. He is a beauty.
Still haven't found a She-Ra or Manny faces in Gilster's area. And
She was a pre-order.
okay, all right, Jim. Okay, all right. And Nolan's waiting on that 2-pack. Yeah, I can't wait, and I absolutely hope that because that they're doing this sculpt of Zoar, that means that we're going to get another, maybe a 2-pack with Evil Lyn with Screech.
Yeah. And I think that makes the most sense, because you get to guarantee the knees, you get to do the same kind of paint update, and they already have the mold for the packaging. You know what I mean?
Well, let me ask you this, Jim. Since we're talking about that, will the Evil Lyn, if they do this, will the Evil Lyn that's included with the Screech be the original color Evil Lyn, or will it be the updated Evil Lyn that they did? From
I would assume it'd be the yellow skin. I would
hope so too, because we all wanted that Evil Lyn to be re-released with the updated knees, but it never did, which is why I ended up using a Dremel tool on mine.
I sent you a link to the back of the package if you want to check it out.
Okay, all right. Let's check that out real quick. Let's see. Copy link address. Let me go back over here to here and see if I can pull that up.
Yeah, it was Axel that dropped it. He dropped it like a week ago or something like that.
Okay, all right. Axel Jimenez.
Yeah.
That's it right there. Absolutely. Okay. And let's zoom in on that. Modernizing and celebrating the original 80s Master Universe action figures. We've seen all that. Push to make the wings flap. So, Jim, do we think that this is an updated sculpt, or is this just the original sculpt?
I would say that they probably had an original figure and made a new sculpt.
Okay.
If I had to venture a guess, because of all the moving parts and everything, they probably got the individual pieces and then updated. So they had to start somewhere, and then they probably updated the mechanism and stuff.
Did the original have flapping wings?
Yes, the original does have flapping wings. As a matter of fact, I'll showcase both of these figures in just a moment. As a matter of fact, the battle backpack that you see on this figure is the same battle backpack that's on those. I'm going to assume that when they redo it, it won't be in that hard plastic, but it'll be in the more flexible plastic. Yeah, the softer plastic that they've been doing for the figure armors as well.
Which I think is a big upgrade, honestly.
And looking at the back of the package here, we see King Randor, which I can't wait to see. Snout Spout, which we know is already on the shelves.
Yeah.
The Whiplash and Trapjaw, they're not out yet, but they're coming. We've got Leech already. And I haven't seen Digitino yet, but I'm sure he's on the way just like Randor is.
Yep. Yeah, he's in the same wave. He's wave 10.
You're popped up in Malaysia now, correct? So they'll be very soon.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
They got them over in Malaysia now, but they just haven't hit here in the States yet.
Yeah,
Like
and
you say
there's
with
a
you
there's a
guys,
there's a Malaysia toy channel out there. I can't remember his name that I'm subscribed to, and
Retro Escapade.
he usually features this stuff as he finds it on the shelf over there in Malaysia.
Yeah.
And I think that's mainly because he's so close to China where this stuff is being made in the first place.
Yeah, there's got to be a factory over there where they get access to them first.
And the Big Jim that Gilster's referring to is Big Jim himself, not you, Grindhead. But yes, the bird here is a repurposed Jim, Big Jim accessory. So yeah, those of you who don't know can research that. But Battle Cat as well was a Big Jim Tiger. But what a lot of people don't know is the Big Jim Tiger was originally Tarzan's Panther. And and Tarzan was actually a repurposed Big Jim figure as well.
He was Big Josh.
Need that Roton? Yeah, I've got a Roton.
Me too, Nolan.
I featured that thing on the show the other day, and you guys, I've been teasing you guys about looking at Zoar and Screech. So let me go ahead and embiggen myself here, and we'll get the toy cam going, and we'll take a look at those figures. I'm gonna take the overlay off so you can see better. Shall I leave myself on, Jim, or take myself off?
Oh, leave yourself in, man. That's the whole point of doing it this way.
All right. So we'll bring Zoar up to the front here where we can see him a little bit better. And the only thing I don't like is the stand. That plastic is just way too flimsy. And there's two types of stands that were released, and I have examples of both of them with both of these birds. And I'll bring Screech over here too, so you can see what I'm talking about. One stand holds the figure up better than the other one does, and it's because of the way the stand bottom is made. And I'm going to take the bottoms off for a second just so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, this is the stand that Zoar is on, and as you can see, it holds the figure a lot better because there's more area around here than there is on this one. And this is the one that I have Screech on. So there were two variations of these stand bottoms that were released by Mattel back in the vintage days, and this one is much better than this one.
Who came in first? Was it Zor or Screech? I'm wondering.
Zoar came out before Screech did, but they both came out about the same time.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like maybe like a month difference between the two or something.
I'm just wondering if that had anything to do with the updated stand, because it seems like a variant. Like the one for Zor is definitely better.
And here's the mechanism that flaps the wings.
Such a cool toy, man. I remember being really jealous of my friends.
How is that working? Is it just pressing the legs in, Bill, or how is it working?
Okay, there's a lever here. Can you see that lever?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And when you press that lever in, it makes these little tabs on either side of the wings come up, and it just pushes the wings up. I'm going to take his backpack off. This backpack hasn't come off in years, so bear with me here.
Oh.
Here is the battle backpack. And of course, it has a tab here so you can actually open this up. I'm not going to release that tab. This is a very, very old piece. It's brittle. And I'm afraid that if I start monkeying with that tab, it's going to snap off.
Don't risk it.
Yeah. And this back piece here is separate from this piece here. And it just snaps on right here. It just snaps in there.
And it looks like the new version is just one solid piece.
It could be. It could be. We'd have to go back and look at that picture. But this is the same battle backpack that's on Screech over there. And I don't think that there's any difference in the color. So now a lot of people, if you see the Zors and Screech, one wing's always flapped down like that, and the other one's flapped up. And as you can see, mine is wanting to do that, but it's not. And it's because of the way he's stored. I store him upside down like this so that
So is Screech the same? Is it the same mold as the
it's the
Zord, just
exact
different
same
paint?
mold. There's no
Exact
difference.
same. Okay.
And the perch, basically, the feet just kind of go on there, and people tend to pop them on and off like that. I slide mine on and off, and I'm not going to. There we go. I slide it on so that it's not getting all that wear here and here that
Right.
that you tend to see on those. And once you get him on there, he tends to stay on there pretty well. And now this piece of plastic here, it's got a lot. It's got more flexibility than I like, and I almost want to buy another one just so I can snap this piece off here and take a wooden dowel and drill a hole. They'll fit that in there and
Right.
replace this whole section right here with something.
I'm wondering if you can use the Origins ones with these, unless they upscale it or something, because I know they
Well,
upscale vehicles.
I'm thinking the Origin stand is going to be made out of a much sturdier plastic, maybe even thicker, that will
Yep.
accommodate the heaviness of the bird better. Now, the stand that Zoar is on here is a much better than the stand that I have for Screech, and I'm not sure why that is the case. Now, I'm going to put this back on, and this piece here is supposed to snap across this back section like that, but it tends not to stay there very well because this is solid plastic. This bottom part of his body is solid plastic, and the top part of his body, which is his head and wings and tail, is a separate piece that's made out of a more rubbery plastic.
Yeah, Michael Purvis has a comment in chat, says he's got 2 extra ones if you need them.
All right, Michael, just give me a DM, man. You know how to get in touch with me.
Love this community. It's like, I got them. It's pretty cool.
Yep. No, they're really good.
We'll take a look at Screech here because he's basically the same figure. It's just been repainted. And as you can see, his stand has a little bit of bend in it. And I have hot watered this and rebent it back out, and nothing's worked. The figure just tends to sit here and kind of want to make it go in that direction, no matter how I position him on his perch. But it's the exact same figure. The backpack's even in the same color mold. I mean, it's nothing different except for the.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that either, because it to me, it always kind of harkened to this idea in my head canon that there's like a weapons dealer that's making all this armor for everyone's like birds and all this different stuff. Like
Well,
Panther
here's the thing. Here's the thing, Jim. Now, in my world, after the Great Wars were over with, there were ruins scattered across Eternia, and in some of these ruins were technology. And there were certain people and tribes, Man-at-Arms tribe comes to mind, that were able to enter these ruins and get this technology and repurpose it to make the vehicles and weapons that you see our characters use. And that's one of the reasons why all of the weapons and armor tend to have the same style and the same look about them, was because these were all leftover things from the Great Wars. Now, when they get repurposed by Man-at-Arms, of course, he has to rebuild them as best that he can, and he adds his own flavor to it when he does that, but it all has the same look and flavor to it because of that. And there are only those few who are able to repurpose the technology. Like I said, Man-at-Arms being one of those. And that's why he's the go-to man to get weapons and armor and vehicles, is because he has the inside connection to this old technology.
The go-to Man-at-Arms, if you will.
That's it.
I had to say it.
There we have the original figures, and I have a suspicion, just like you, Jim, that more than likely the new figures are just going to be remolds of these. Of course, the original molds are probably long lost to time, And if they
Right.
even if they did exist, they probably would be unusable at this point after 30, 40, 50 odd years.
Yeah.
So,
Well, 40 years this year, so
that's exactly right. 40 years ago. What would you say there, Adam? Adam,
Will
did you say
said something?
It was
No,
me. I said,
I just have my mic on mute there. I had the dog barking, so I wanted to mute.
Oh, okay. And did Lee have Lee? Not Will. Will is Will McLaughlin, and we got Lee
Why the
Customs
fuck
here.
did
I don't know what.
I mean,
It's a brain fart there, Jim. I have them all
it
the
is.
time.
I did just say they were over 40 years old because they were from the Big Jim line, like you said. So they're a couple years older, so they're over 40.
That's correct.
That's
so
fair.
That's fair. And I'm sure that the Big Jim molds are actually reused for the He-Man line. They didn't
Oh
remake
yeah,
those.
that was yeah, because they even say it in the Power of the Grayskull documentary. He said we already have the tooling's done. We have to pay a tooling cost, so this is how we get more stuff in the line.
Yeah.
And of course, speaking of retool or not retool, but repaint figures using the same tools, I'm hoping that they do the Night Stalker to complement the horse that we've already got.
Yeah, that's been rumored. And then you also see like they have imagery on the box art to do the Wind Raider as well in those colors.
I want that evil Wind Raider. God dang it!
Me too, man.
I want
Yeah.
it so bad.
I mean, it's the same mold, basically, wasn't it, from the image?
It's exactly the
just have to-
same. You just paint it.
They changed the wings, which would be a simple retool. I mean, it wouldn't be like you have to retool the whole thing.
Well,
Yeah, you just add little tendrils to the back of the wings. You put a little bat.
Yeah,
wings
just one or two tools is all they would need, and just paint it
Yeah.
purple. Boom.
It'd be like a retool head or something like that on a figure. I mean, it wouldn't be that big a deal.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they come up with that. I wouldn't be
I would like to
surprised.
see that, because we're getting kind of deep in the line now.
Yeah.
And now, depending upon who you believe and who you talk to, Mattel's fixing to lose, or Universal is going to take over, complete ownership of the line. So what was that 2023 that they're talking about that happening? I don't know what's going to go on there. I have no doubt that this line is going to continue as long as it's making money.
Yeah.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that we talk about a lot of these things where they're like reusing molds to make new toys. I think you're going to see a lot of that when that license goes into limbo because they've already made the molds and there's nothing legally that can be done. So however long it takes them to negotiate the right deal, that's when you're going to see a Screech. That's when you're going to see that Purple Wind Raider and so on. I think that's very smart. It's very smart for them to do it that way. I think that it's a good way to keep us in new toys without them getting in legal hot water or having to turn money over to Universal, which I'm all about. So I do think that, getting the evil Stridor, the Night Stalker, getting the evil Wind Raider and stuff like that, I think would be something you'll probably see, I would guess, next year. If for no other reason than the combination of the rights issue plus the 40th anniversary, they had certain things they wanted to focus on. They've already got the Snake Men announced, which is a ridiculously large portion of the line, which I love. I think those are going to be great figures too. It's going to be a good year, I think. And like you said, I don't think Mattel's going to give up that money, man. I don't think they're going to do it. They don't have a reason
I'm sure the lawyers are also working in a first right of refusal and all that kind of crap into it to keep.
Oh yeah.
To keep anything from keeping them away from that long green that they so love.
So I'm wondering what's Mattel's biggest seller? Is it Barbie? Is it Hot Wheels? Or is it Masters?
Barbie and Hot Wheels, absolutely, and always has been, and probably always will be.
Hot Wheels are insanely popular. It's crazy.
Hot Wheels, the price
Motu
point on
stuff.
Hot Wheels hasn't changed in 40, 50 years.
Pretty much.
And as far as Barbie goes, if anything ever takes Barbie off of her throne, those girls in charge of the Barbie department throw a fucking fit, and they go and they fix it immediately.
That's why She-Ra came around. They threw a fit.
What happened. That's what happened with She-Ra. They went in there and they made their own version of He-Man called She-Ra, And of course, they wrested that away from the boys. The boys had ideas, and they took those ideas and said,
Yeah.
"Okay, we'll take your ideas," and they balled them up, threw them in the trash, and come up with She-Ra.
Yeah, they did not like that He-Man was doing better than Barbie. That's the word that was going around anyway
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
inside.
absolutely.
That was
If
yeah,
anything
they-
outsells Barbie, Mattel has a fucking fit.
Yeah, and it was something where, again, on that documentary, they talk about the fact that they kind of euphemize it a little bit, where they're like, "Well, we just wanted to make sure there was an offering for girls that was
Yeah.
similar because we saw, and they
Does
brought in this
anybody-
great designer." But then they still had mansplaining people coming in, like, we want bigger boobs and all this stuff. And like, I get that part because
Yeah, do you remember the what was it Bratz? The Bratz dolls came out and were doing so much better than Barbie, and they sued the shit out of them just because of that. I don't know if they won or anything, probably didn't, but nobody has deeper pockets than Mattel. I mean, you're not gonna, even if you win, you lose when they
Right.
decide to throw their
True.
lawyers at you.
True. No.
Any chance of re-release Origins figures, because I'm missing a lot?
I would say that it depends upon how things go next year, honestly. Because again,
the closest thing we've got so far has been Skeletor and He-Man when they redid the heads.
Right. But just a reissue, like say, for example, Big Bad has
Manny
some of the
faces?
hard to find ones up there, like
Yeah.
Roboto.
So I guess Wave 3 is being reissued because that's just Wave 3 is all they got, and they've been for pre-order for a few months. So they must have done more.
Did they re-release that,
Wave
or did they find some more figures and send in a Big Bad toy store? That's what I
She-Ra was updated eyes, so obviously they were the later releases of them, if they are found later stock.
Now they
Right.
did
What they need to do, Wave 2, they got to re-release. That's the one they got to re-release,
Yep.
man.
Yes.
That was the hardest one. We never even got Scareglow and Orko here. I had to order them. They didn't.
Yeah, I had to order those too. And the hardest figure I had to find was Trapjaw.
Oh,
I had
really?
a hell of a time getting Trapjaw.
Surprisingly
And I paid
enough,
way too much money for that guy.
Yeah, I actually got Trapjaw and doubles,
Nolan
but it
still
was by a
doesn't have one.
Yeah.
Well, I'll
Yeah.
tell you what you can do, Nolan. Just look at an old video of mine, and I can tell you how to make you a little Trapjaw. It won't be the same, but it'll be close. And
A little bit of paint,
you'll
you'd be good.
Yeah, absolutely. But so speaking of Trapjaw, what do you guys think about the mini comic Trapjaw? I think I might pass on that.
I'm
gonna get it, but I'm gonna get it, but it's gonna be bottom of the list. The chaser in that wave is gonna be the Randor and the Whiplash.
Yeah, I've got
Yeah.
Randor on pre-order. Whiplash is not on my radar, but if I see him on the shelf, it'll probably be a Leech situation all over again. And Gilster says he needs that. Where'd you go, Gilster? There you are. Needs a Zodak, Manny Faces, and Roboto.
I think Zodak and Roboto are both up for pre-order on Big Bad right now.
Yeah, and I was surprised about Zodak. I mean, they released him in that wave, and I don't think anybody really got him that wanted him. And I thought Zodak would be a much more popular figure than what he turned out to be. What do you guys think about Zodak? Tell me.
I've always loved the figure. I love the character, but I can understand why the average consumer like pass him up. But if you know your He-Man lore, like he's one of the original figures from the original first wave of characters. So it's like that's like just from a collecting standpoint, it's great. But yeah, no, Gilster, if you go over to Big Bad Toys, Zodak and Roboto are still up for pre-order over there at retail price. You'll at least get those two knocked out off the list. Then you just got to find a Manny Faces.
If you have any issues or if you can't, go that route, I have extra for trade. Always up for trade.
There you go.
And welcome to the wonderful world of toy collecting here in my world. Somebody's got what you want, and if you got what they want, you can get it. And sometimes it just takes just a little bit of that persuasive long green. And
trade me one that I don't have, and no problem.
And Gilster says he customized Zodak with different color helmets with paint pens from Hobby Lobby. That's definitely a good idea for customization because a lot of people liked the version of Zodak that was in the 2000X cartoon series.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And a lot of people would like to see that. Now, I could see that being done. And in my mind, I'm thinking Jitsu body and legs, and then maybe repaint the head to match. And then if you really feel froggy, you can try those tattoos. But I don't know if I'm as good an artist as all of that.
Not me, that's for sure.
And of course, Bjorn's telling us he's got what we need, probably at his Walmart. And talking about Burger King, I recently was able to dig up an old Burger King commercial. I don't know if you guys remember, but my Patreon got a chance to see that. But I'm not talking about creepy Burger King either. I'm talking about the magical Burger King. When I twist my ring, see what I can do. You know, that Burger King. That's the guy that I always think of when I think of Burger King. And Randall really does look like that Burger King. As a matter of fact, I've already got a burger for him to hold here when I get him.
Yeah.
Nice.
And did a little animation
Michael
skit on
Purvis
that
lets
too.
us know that he has most of the Origin toys if anybody needs them. He has a bunch of extras that were bought, and I have almost every one of them except Trap Jaw, which I sold.
There's your Manny faces too.
Let me do this for Michael because Michael is in a unique position here, and I need to pull up a page to be able to do that. And hold your ears, folks, because there may be some feedback when I do this.
Okay.
All right. And let me go over here. Do this. Come on.
Feedback.
Yeah, it is probably going to happen here in a second. As soon as I pull this page up, because I've got to go over here to be able to do what I want to do for Michael.
I'm ready to take my headphones off.
Oh, everything's going a little slow because I got too much going on here. Content. Live. I'm going into actual YouTube studio for this.
Oh.
I probably should have had this pulled up in another thing, but I just didn't do it. And right there's where I want to do this.
The suspense. I just feel like there should be like some like action. No, I haven't heard any feedback yet.
All right. Yeah. All right. Michael, I tried to wrench you there. See if you got your wrench yet, brother.
Nice.
All right.
There.
Michael said he had to get rid of his website because he wasn't really selling anything. All right.
That sucks, man.
Michael,
I'm sorry about that.
I just gave you a wrench. You're now a moderator here in the channel. If you don't see your wrench show up, leave and come back and you'll see it. But with your wrench capabilities, you can now post links to where people can get to you and be able to buy toys from you or trade toys with you. And Gilster wants to know if he can DM you on Instagram. I'll let you answer that for yourself. And like I said, Michael, if you want to come on the channel with me sometime and talk about what you do and everything, just I always post that StreamYard link at the top, and I invite anybody that wants to come on to come on. Now, if you act a fool, you may not be able to come on again, but I haven't had that happen yet to me. Have you ever, Jim?
Someone like act so poorly that I never want to have him back on?
Yes.
No, I haven't, to be honest.
I haven't experienced that either because everybody that I've come into contact with on this channel has just been an excellent person, somebody that I would love to have as a personal friend in real life as well as on the internet. And some of you guys are actually, I actually consider brothers. And Jim, I don't know if you know this or not, but when a biker calls you brother, that's a special thing, brother.
I know that. Chat probably doesn't know everyone knows
All
that.
right.
I know that.
You know what the difference between a friend and a brother is, right, Jim?
Mm-hmm.
You can ask a friend to come and help you move, and they'll come and help you move. But you ask a brother when you need to move a body.
Exactly. Precisely right. That's right.
And yeah, so you're a wrench now. Appreciate it, and you can come on the show anytime you want to. And if you need to post links to where people can contact you, you have the ability to do so now. All right, guys. One last thing that I wanted to do, and I promised Adam that I was going to do this before the show ended. He's getting ready to do an unboxing on his $1 for his show. And I wanted to show him how I unboxed mine to give him some ideas. He may choose to unbox him in his own way, but he was interested in the way I unboxed mine. So I'm going to bring $1.
Do you need to get set up to do that, or?
All I need to do is get the toy cam back on the screen here, and I guess
Okay.
I'll do it with me in there too. And
Yeah, biggin. There you go.
All right. And all I need to do is just bring the box up to the forefront here and bring him out.
I love this. It's pretty genius.
And of course, it's not my idea. I'll shout out Hebrew on this. Hebrew's the one that clued me in on this. All right, so here is $1 in his package, and yes, he does have a Lee custom head on him.
But that's not factory. Oh.
That's not the factory head. That's your head. That's your head there, Lee.
Not your personal head, but one you personally made. Let's make that clear. That's not actually Lee's head.
But I took an old figure bubble and just cut the flash off the edge of it there. And when I opened this, I took the scissors and I cut very carefully along the edges here and just took the front piece off so that you can actually pull the guts out. I'm not going to actually do it, but you can pull the guts out and get your man out of the box. As you can see, his original head's floating around in there along with his custom loaf of Wonder Bread. But that way, when you get ready to put him back, you can just put this right
So you're just cutting the first layer all around the edge, right? That's how you're doing it.
Just right around the edge, and then like I said, you get an old figure, He-Man figure or whatever, and just cut that flash off the edge of it so that it just kind of fits on. And
it's really nice
static
because
electricity holds it on there. I mean, it stays on. And if you want to display them on the wall or whatever, it from a distance you can't tell.
Not to mention that if you're going to keep the collector box, which I think we all do, it's a good way. You're already the space is taken up by the box. It makes sense to put them back in there. I don't do that myself, but I think it's great.
I'm looking at my package and I'm still not understanding how the heck are you getting it so that it's still glued on the back?
Okay,
you just cut the top off.
Layer.
Yeah. So, okay, all right. One more time. All right, here we go. When on the $1 figure here, all right, I took an X-Acto knife and I made a slit probably about right here. And then I took the scissors, but you can use your X-Acto knife and just go all the way around here until you cut this part here off, leaving all this part here on. Does that make sense? Did I show that correctly, Jim?
Yeah.
You cut all this part. You just cut all the way around here and cut this part here off. And you leave all this part on. And that's what's still glued to the card here is this part here.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to see is through the plastic. I'm trying to see the second layer, but okay, I can sort of see it. I see what you're doing, yeah.
Yeah, I ended up
it's not the easiest thing in the world to do, but it's a really great thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just cut all the way around the edge here and get this piece off. And then, of course,
Is it possible to get the mini comic out though, or no?
Yes, and I've gotten it out before. I'm not going to do it today because once you get it out, it's a pain in the ass to get back in. Is it not, Jim? If you remember,
It can be with the way that I typically open. I just do the slim cut all the way around. Then you've just got the comic slotted in. But I wanted to call attention to some interesting packaging. So the $1 were packaged up a while ago. So I know they don't have this little spacer in the box. It's just a rectangular cardboard cube. But it did come in my Coldar, and I thought that was the coolest thing because it's there just to keep your card back real nice. So I would presume that everything else. It's a smart little thing that is such a quality of life little maneuver. It never occurred to me to do that, so I'm going to make a bunch of these for the other creation stuff that I have because
that is a Lee custom $1 head that's sitting in there. So just wonderful idea, Lee. I'm glad you did that. As a matter of fact, I've got to get a faker head now to go on my faker figure so that it matches.
Hey.
But anyway, everything goes right back in the box like it came out.
Yeah, it's a good way to do it. You can put them right back in. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, make sure though, guys, that the back of the card goes in on the other side of this flap, because if you don't, then you're trying to close the flap into
it's a pain in the patootie.
Yeah. So there you go. And I hope that gave you some ideas there, Adam.
I'll try. I'll attempt it Friday on my live stream. I'll attempt it. See if I can do it.
Feel free to do it your way if you want to, but I just wanted to give you a little idea, maybe that would give you something that you might want to try. Like I said, I knew I was going to open mine, and Jim usually winces when I open my figures because I just tear into them, but I wasn't going to do that with $1.
I'll definitely do it too.
It's mildly triggering in the sense that only because I did that with my very first figure, and I regret the shit out of that. I just didn't know any better. I was excited,
And I've been telling myself I'm going to do this for ages. I've got a box full of these damn card backs and bubbles that I need to go in and take all the bubbles off of them and throw that shit in the trash. And I need to cut the card back so that I got just the top piece with the Axel Jimenez artwork on it, and make some sort of a collage or something out of those.
So what you should do, make content out of the process. Get the box, put it on the table, throw the cam on, and you got about 2 hours of streaming
myself
there.
Doing that, absolutely. Right. And I was telling Adam this. Adam just went over 600 here this week, and I'm so proud of him for that. Everybody give Adam a big round of applause for that, because he did a great job. As a matter of fact, I think I have just the sound for that right here. So and the reason Adam went over 600 and I did not is because Adam is doing his due diligence, and he's putting out weekly content, almost daily content, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. And I'm not. I don't have the ability to, and I don't have the time to. But it's hard to sit there and film yourself and then cut all that shit together and then still have time to go to bed and get up and work the insane hours that I do. I'm lucky to get on here on Sunday afternoons. And the other thing that I want to not do is to start doing what happens to all my favorite creators is once they get to a certain point, you don't see them anywhere anymore. You don't see them hanging out in the chats anymore. You don't see them going to other people's channels anymore. And I know why, but I still damn it do. And Jim, you know as well as I do, there's one show every Saturday night that I will not miss. And by God, last night he went on for 5 straight hours. I didn't get to bed until 2 a.m. this morning.
Dang
it. Yeah.
That's really late for you.
Yeah, it's late for me. I go to bed at 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
But getting up
crazy.
at 4 a.m. in the morning. That's the only way to get a complete 8 hours of sleep. And I'm not young anymore, man. I need my 8. If I don't get my 8, I'm like a zombie at work. And believe me, folks, when you're cutting metal, you need to be able to have all of your faculties about you.
You got to be sharp.
I bet.
Keep all 10 of my fingers. And I don't know if you noticed, but my hands look like hell. They always have some sort of cut. I think I got one right here. And that's just the nature of the game. You're going to have scratches and crap all over you doing what I do. But yeah, I've got to go to bed early and I've got to get up early. So I don't get to make the content I like to make. And one of the reasons why I was able to make some of the content that I was able to make at the beginning of this year and the end of last year was because I had a little more time on my hands that I just don't have anymore. And Michael Purvis has posted that link, the Maniac Plastic Toy Shop on Facebook. You guys check him out. He's got the things that you might need. And if you don't have the money, he's probably willing to trade, but just see how it works out for you. And I'm going to be contacting him personally myself. And you got to be sharp to use the tools you use. That's correct. And even my customizing has kind of gone downhill. Even though I did some work on Conan on Friday. When you come home from work exhausted, getting paints in your hand and trying to do fine paint work don't work, Jack, because my hands.
Your motor skills suck at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And Michael says he'll always work out a deal with somebody. I'm sure he will, and he's a good guy. And like I said, Michael, send that friend request to my personal Facebook. It'll answer you back, but don't be afraid because you don't see much on there. That's just because I don't use that. I interact as Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures. That's who I am online. My personal life is compartmentalized greatly from my online life, and that's just for my own personal reasons. I'm sure Jim might be able to understand being a celebrity. I'm not a celebrity, but I'm there.
I've lived a very online life, and you have to learn to go this other direction.
Well, I did that. I did that a few years ago because living in the world that I live in,
right.
I don't hate the police, but I dislike some of the ways that they treat us, those of us who ride motorcycles. Motorcycle enthusiasts who have banded together and made organizations that tend to be out of political favor with certain people, and they tend to use the forces that be to try to control us. And I don't need to be advertising a lot of the things that I do online simply because not that I'm doing anything out of the ordinary. But I might have brothers that might be, and I don't want to compromise them as well. I think you understand what I mean, Jim, without me going into great detail.
Totally get it.
And anyway, guys, I appreciate y'all coming on. And Lee, I appreciate you coming on with me today. You're invited anytime you want. And if you want to share pictures and things like that, feel free to hang out with us anytime, and we'll show you how this StreamYard stuff works and how to do some crazy stuff. Okay. Jim and Adam and Lee, y'all are both invited to stick around after I end the show, and we can just chat together for a moment before I end the day.
Sure thing.
And let me get over here to this part of my show, and I want everybody to have a wonderful day. And remember, together we shall triumph. Good day, everybody. Special thanks to these supporters on Patreon. Without your help, these adventures would not be possible. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed today's adventure, please hit like and subscribe and share the video.